So we will throw out Agent Treachery. Take away the bodyguard. There we go. Sacrifice him. And there we go. The virtue is back on, everybody. We have achieved absolute treachery on them. Two of the bodyguards are out of the way. And oh, and there you go, everybody. Hello my fire friends, the Infernoman here with the hottest in budget tech technology. And for today's tech, just as the sun is beginning to set on Edge of Eternities as we move into the next set in literally a couple days as the posting of this video, I still wanted to play around with a couple of cards that have intrigued me over the past several sets that we haven't had a chance to actually play with.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
That's right. So without further ado, join me today in the Pioneer format because we're trying to introduce to our opponent absolute treachery. Longtime viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So our absolute treachery deck is going to be a Bant deck, meaning it's going to be the colors of white, blue, and green. We're looking at an average mana curve about 3.8, and we'll be rocking a total of 16 creatures in the deck, 4 instants, 12 sorceries, 4 artifacts, 2 enchantments, and 24 lands. Absolute Treachery is going to be a mid-range deck where we're hoping to cheat out really big creatures onto the battlefield for free. By doing so, we'll be utilizing one key legendary creature card, as long as it's tapped before our second main phase, to then put out these big creatures out there. Either one of them will prevent our opponent from doing any damage to us, or the other one that we can place onto the battlefield will simply just start stealing opponents' permanents, and that includes their own lands. Now that you have an idea of what the deck is trying to do, let's explain to you exactly how this is going to work. We're starting to start with our main key creature to the whole deck, which is going to be Kona Rescue Beastie. Kona Rescue Beastie is a 4-mana legendary creature beast survivor. It's a 4/3 with the survival mechanic, which simply reads, at the beginning of your second main phase, if Kona is tapped, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. But what cards are we going to be utilizing to just destroy our opponent completely without actually having to do a single swing? Well, as you can see right here, we're going to be utilizing Agent of Treachery, Absolute Virtue, and Colossal Sky Turtle. Agent of Treachery, if you've been playing on Arena as long as I have, you'll know this is absolutely miserable to see on the battlefield. But in our instance, we definitely want it to just tilt our opponent completely. For those that don't know, Agent of Treachery here is a 7-mana 2/3 human rogue that reads, when this creature enters, gain control of target permanent. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, draw 3 cards. So even if sometimes we could steal something as key to our opponent's game plan, maybe one of their enchantments, a planeswalker, even a land, more often than not, a lot of people will tend to quit on the spot. And I don't blame them because, again, nobody likes their stuff to be stolen.
Correct!
If stealing stuff is not advantageous to us, then we'll go to our plan B, which is Absolute Virtue. Absolute Virtue, as you can see here, is an 8-mana legendary creature avatar warrior. It's an 8/8, and it says this spell can't be countered. It also has flying, and also when this is out, you have protection from each of your opponents. So that means that we cannot be dealt damage, enchanted, or targeted by anything controlled by our opponents.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
This gets out there as well, and usually aggro decks or any kind of creature heavy deck will have no shot of beating us because they will never be able to do damage as long as it stays on the battlefield. However, this also again is going to be something important to note. This card doesn't have any protection, so it can get destroyed very easily along with Agent Treachery. We do at least have one backup plan to all of this, which is going to be Colossal Sky Turtle, and it also pulls double, even triple duty with its utility abilities. A simple little 7-mana 6/5 enchantment creature turtle. However, it also has flying, and it also has its own built-in protection of Ward 2. But realistically, we use this for 2 other reasons. We use its channel abilities if we need to. You can either channel it for 3 mana to discard this card and bring back another card from our grave. As far as the rest of the game plan is, it's mostly just going to be circling around ensuring we can get this whole game plan to go off ASAP. We're going to do a little bit of ramping with Growth Spiral here to draw a card and put a land card from our hand onto the battlefield, and our mana dork is going to be Paradise Druid. What's nice about this one is it has hexproof as long as it's untapped. So as long as it stays untapped, we can just do our thing until we're ready to use the mana and expect, usually it tends to get blown up right after it's tapped. However, we do need to make sure we can dig out our key pieces, so we will utilize our search function in the Seriema here, and also Stock Up. Stock Up as a sorcery, we can dig 5 cards deep, put 2 cards into our hand, and put the rest back into our library. And the Seriema is going to be a legendary spacecraft here. When this enters, we can dig out a legendary card and put it into our hand. However, with the station ability, that makes it very easy for us to get Kona out right after we get Seriema out, and then tap it utilizing the station ability, and then we can easily cheat what we need to that's big onto the battlefield. If we can flip flip this completely for its full ability, once we station for 7, this becomes then a 5/5 flyer, and also other tapped legendary creatures we control have indestructible. This on its own will not only protect Kona, but also protects Absolute Virtue as long as they stay tapped. If we still run into any more additional problems, such as discard or destruction in the form of spot removal, we can use Emerge from Cocoon, a 5-mana sorcery that brings back any creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield, and also we can gain 3 life for stabilization. We'll use a single copy of Realm Sketching here. This allows us to make a token of copy target artifact, creature, or land. As far as our only other piece, we'll have spot removal with Swallow Whole. This means that we have to tap an untapped creature we control, but ideally we want that to be Kona so we can then utilize its ability. And by doing so, we can exile another tapped creature and then put a +1/+1 counter on the creature we have. As far as our mana base is concerned, we're going to keep it as simple as possible because we are a budget deck, but we're going to be utilizing as much life gain within our land base to ensure we can sponge hits while we set up our game plan. We'll have some basics with plains, islands, and forests, and we'll utilize, of course, the Tranquil Coves, Blossoming Sands, Thornwood Falls, and Broker's Hideout to fetch out whatever lands we need. If you want to take this match to a best of 3, here's what I would recommend for you for the sideboard. For a separate type of spot removal, we can utilize Sheltered by Ghost. Heritage Reclamation here will be taking care of your artifact, enchantment, or graveyard hate. For counter spells, we can utilize Dovin's Veto here because this counters all non-creature spells and cannot be countered itself. We can also utilize Scholar of the Ages here to bring back any instants or sorcery back from the graveyard to our hand and kind of recycle them and use them over and over again to kind of keep messing with our opponent. Colossal Sky Turtle here, an extra copy of that. And then finally some Hulking Metamorphs. We can utilize these and they will enter as a copy of any artifact or creature we control, except the creature is also going to be a big beat down shapeshifter. So now, of course, is going to be the most exciting part of the video. Let's go ahead, let's play a couple of matches in the Pioneer format, and let's see how well this deck can do. But before we continue, if you do like any of the content that I do, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content. You can support me monthly for a small amount on Patreon, where I have all of my extended bonus footage posted. We also have a Redbubble spot where you can buy merch like stickers and shirts, or for free, all you can just do also is just join our growing community on Discord. Your support helps keep this channel going. All links are in the details below. Okay, my fire friends, here we go. Can we throw out our opponent some absolute treachery? Well, the good news, of course, is we do have everything we need in hand. We can ramp with Paradise Druid. We have our Broker's Hideout. We got everything we need here. We also have even a way to do some removal and tapping with Kona. But let's see if we can get there. Okay, ooh, we got another Kona bestie. That's good. So, let's see. How do we want to do this? We have all of our pieces, so I think all we just need now is just to start building up stuff. Let's get our island first. Okay, so our opponent is Razorverge Thicket, Elvish Mystic. Okay, so they're an elf deck. This is actually great for us. So we do want a creature deck, because once we can get out the Absolute Virtue, they usually don't have any removal against us. We just have to bide our time as quick as possible here. All we just need now is another land. If we can get another land, I think we should be good. If we don't get the land on this next turn, we'll stock up to get immediately the pieces we need. Okay, opponent, they'll take their beat. Go down to 17. Alright, so I guess we'll just stock up instead. Okay, so, wow. Not very good hits here. I guess we'll just get out the 2 lands, just to guarantee we get lands. Okay, come on, deck. Obviously naming elves, Galactic Company. Will this kill us here? Oh, they hit bad. Well, okay. Well, that buys us a little bit more time. So in the meantime here, Broker's Hideout. We'll get out a Plains. Let's Swallow Whole. Take out the Visionary. We tap. That weakens everything for a bit. We'll find out here. Elf. Werefox Bodyguard. Ooh. I thought that's an elf too. Not what I was expecting at all there. Okay. Go down to 8. Agent of Treachery. Tranquil Cove. I'm hoping that that was their only piece of removal. If that is their only piece of removal, we should be good to go here. Get Kona down. Sponge 1 hit. I think we can do this. Please don't tell me they have more removal. Oh, it's just doing it easily. Okay, that's good. We can take that. That means they're not going to swing. Okay. There we go. Now we got there. Okay, Sariema.
This is where the fun begins.
We'll just dig out another Kona just in case. We will station it up, and there we go. So Kona does manage to do its thing, so Absolute Virtue comes in, and now we are set to go there. Station again. Okay, opponents. You stop an absolute virtue without any removal. Ooh, Court of Calling. I'm still not giving up. Wow, they actually found a way to stop us. At least for now. We can still hit them here. Down to 4, okay. So, how do we get out of this? Okay, I think we still can. Bodyguard goes bye-bye. Okay. Get back our Paradise Druid. Let's stock up. And, okay, how do we do... Okay, we'll get another Swallow Hole and... I guess emerge from Cocoon. So, we will throw out Agent Treachery. To take away the Bodyguard. There we go. Sacrifice him. And there we go. The virtue is back on, everybody. We have achieved absolute treachery on them.
Boo! You stink!
2 of the bodyguards are out of the way. And oh, and there you go, everybody. Victory goes to us. Our opponent has ran out of options there. We achieved the dream. All right, all right, all right. Wow. Okay, my fire friends, here we go. Can we invoke on our opponent some absolute treachery? We do actually have the stock up in hand, Growth Spiral, although we can't really play it just yet. We also have in our hand the Siriema, so we should be able to get to our whole game plan, maybe. Colossal Sky Turtle, that'll be nice for later on. Okay, Mutavault. Oh, nice, we actually did get our forest just off the top there, so we'll pass here. Opponent's got black, and they got a Mutavault. So are they mono black mid-range? Another Mutavault, okay. Graveyard Trespasser, okay. So it is going to be mono black mid-range. Can we stop them? We'll see if we can try. Let's Growth Spiral our way through this. We'll throw out Plains. Paradise Druid. That's good. So from here, Siriema. Alright, let's dig out Arcona. Got our Rescue Beastie in hand. Shieldred. Oh, okay. So Shieldred coming down. Again, still annoying, but it is beatable. At least I hope it is. Okay, so we will draw here. Realm Sketching. Kona coming down. Station. We get to put down a Sky Turtle. The weaker of our permanents to come in, but it still works for us. Tap it again. Flips it. All right. So this means that at least Kona is indestructible for the time being. So at least that means we can protect it for a smidge. If they swing, and they just might, all right, that's good. We'll take the hit here. We go down to 12. But now that it's tapped, it actually helps us out quite a bit here. I know you want to play your room card. There it is. Okay. So got the Unholy Annex down. So they turn on the Mutavault just that way they can count it as a... was it a demon? That's right. It's a demon. Okay, so how do we get out of this? I think first off we Swallow Whole. We will tap Kona, Shieldred, so it's gone for good. Nice. Okay. And then from here, let's actually make another Sky Turtle. So now we have 2 big turtles on the field. Our opponent does not have any way of stopping Castle Lockwing. Oh, okay. So they do that. But we hit them for 20. And then we'll throw it on Paradise Druid, even though we don't need to. At least it can be a blocker for a turn. Come on, opponent. I know that's what you want to do. There it is. Arch Enemy's Charm, so it does exile it. Opponent will turn on their Mutavault, so they can at least trigger off Unholy Annex. But we do have 2 big flyers coming down now, so this should be okay. We will stock up. Come on, give me a big hit here. Okay. I guess we'll get out Siriema and the Growth Spiral. So from here, Siriema number 2. We can dig out another legendary. This time we'll go with the Absolute Virtue. Let's actually just do a big swing here. 12 damage in the sky, and our opponent cannot stop it. Down to 10. Even if they turn on the Mutavault, that's still not going to be enough. They need a Wrath to stop us right now. Oh, Invoke Despair. Okay, so Paradise Druid go bye-bye. Extra Sky Turtle there. Go down to 5. Is that it? Wait, did we die? Oh, jeez. They actually got us, didn't they?
Well, this stinks.
Down to 4. Down to 1. Oh, jeez. Okay, I guess you win, opponent. They turn on their stupid Mutavault to cheat out Unholy Annex's ability, and we lose. Wow. Every time I play Mono Black Midrange, I don't get this lucky. But okay, well, that is what it is, everybody. Still not too bad for a budget deck. Okay, my fire friends, here we go. Can we achieve absolute treachery against our opponents? We have the Cerium in hand. We do have a way of stocking up to get more stuff out. I think we can keep this hand. It's going to be very slow, but we can make it work. Okay, we got a Blossoming Sands, okay. So, Thornwood falls. And pass. Okay, what's our opponent playing? So they got Sparkle now. Okay, for a Steel Cutter. Joy. If we can find a way to get around that, that won't be too bad for us, but we'll try here. Let us get out a Blossoming Sands. Opponents. Consider. Okay, threw away a Storm Chaser's talent, okay. Consider number 2. Turns on the Steel Cutter. Throwing away another card. Island. Opt number 3. They're trying to get their Phoenix, I guess, going, while also pumping up that Monk token. Okay, down to 19. Ooh, we got Kona already in hand here. But is that going to be enough? Let's try this. Cerium can get out another copy of what we need, so Absolute Virtue. There we go. So we now have our key pieces in hand. We just got to find a way to just make sure everything stabilizes. Oh, Vivi actually was not used there? Okay. Maybe we can pull it off here. Let's try. Can we achieve our absolute right here? Okay. Virtue coming in. Tap again. Turns on Cerium. So now it has Indestructible. So our opponent, for now, has no way of stopping this combo.
Oh yeah. It's all coming together.
I suppose they actually could stop it, because they do have cards like This Town Ain't Big Enough. They can bounce away Absolute Virtue. Then we're in trouble. That was a lot they had to hit us with there. Fortunately, though, they can't do any damage against us. Okay, Rip Fire Verge. Okay. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Okay. Any swings? Nothing. Okay. So from here, stock up. We'll get out another Absolute Virtue just in case. And I guess we'll get out a Swallow Hole. Okay. We will get out Forest. Alright, we just kind of just start swinging away. Down to 7 opponents. And just to make sure out of caution, we will just tap that down too. So now they're still indestructible, so they cannot be touched. I mean, they have a full hand. I'm surprised they don't have something in hand that can make it work. Wow, they shot themselves down to 5. So they can't hit us with any regular damage. They need something that can just bounce away our game plan. That's literally their only way of getting out of this. Wild Ride. Okay. We're still immune to damage. Even if they just make everything do its thing. Fiery Impulse. Okay. Okay. Down to 2. They need another point. Do they have another removal spell? They do. Okay. Oh boy. While that is gnarly, that turns off the indestructible on our creatures, but Absolute Virtue is still in play, so they cannot hurt us anyway. Sure, opponent, go ahead and do that damage. That's fine. Wild Ride. Okay. That's fine. Pumps up still. We still don't take any damage.
A few moments later.
There it is. Okay. They had it. This town ain't big enough. So that turns off everything. Now we're dead. Okay. Well, the best deck in Standard ported over to Pioneer. Just destroyed us. They did have the answers, unfortunately. Alright. Well, I guess we'll just move on to the next one. And there you have it, everybody. So that was Absolute Treacher for you for the Pioneer format. And you tell me in the comments below, what do you think? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? Truth be told, I think this deck is better off as a best of 3 deck. While we did manage to get a win with it in best of 1, the deck also showed some of its weaknesses very quickly against certain opponents we had. So just to keep in mind with this kind of a deck, it is a very slow deck. If we can get it off, it's amazing. However, as I mentioned earlier, Absolute Virtue is completely vulnerable, of course, because there's no way to protect it, at least with how this deck is designed. Same thing with Kona. If you can't keep Kona out there and tapped, the deck does feel like it does absolutely nothing. Be aware of these things if you are interested in this kind of a deck. However, if you still like what the deck is trying to do, and maybe you do have a couple of extra rares or mythics and you want to take it to the next level, if you made it this far into the video, thanks again for hanging in there, because you are my true fiery friends. And because of that, I'm about to show you what you can do to take this deck to the next level. Before you even do anything with the main deck overall, I would definitely say upgrade the mana base first before you can. You'll notice in just a moment there's not really anything major we need to do with the main deck, but the mana base will get a lot better with some great upgrades here. You are going to have to invest a lot, so be aware of that. We'll throw in an entire set of Spara's headquarters, so one of the triomes here gives us a great amount of fixing, and also we can cycle them when we don't need them. Obviously, we'll throw in an entire set of Shocklands across the board, so Breeding Pool, Temple Garden, and Hollow Fountain, which means you'll trim down your basics to 2 apiece, which should still be enough to get you by with what you need. For any additional lands or cards we don't need, we'll also throw in a copy of Gaia Reach Sanitarium here, just as allows us to help draw cards and discard cards. Granted, this does mean your opponent also can do the same thing, but that again is a small price to pay in order to reanimate things for much cheaper using Emerge from the Cocoon. As far as the overall main part of the deck, we're going to then get rid of Realm Sketching here. We'll throw in Croaking Counterpart here. It's cheaper, and also you can flash it back, so technically it's a 2-for-1 out of the deal. We'll also have a much stronger removal option for us in the main deck. Get Lost can destroy creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers, and again, you will have to give your opponent some map tokens, but that is a small price to pay in order to have much more consistent removal. As far as the other main parts of the deck that are going to change, we'll then get rid of our copies of our Sky Turtles here. We'll throw an extra copy of Agent of Treachery, and the other extra copy will go to Emerge from the Cocoon to give us more consistency with reanimation. And then finally, for the upgrades to the sideboard here, we're going to change a couple of things around. We're going to try to make some room here for Supreme Verdicts, so this way we actually have a main Wrath for the deck, and ensuring we can just defeat all of those go-wide aggro strategies against us. We'll then move the Sky Turtles then to the sideboard here, so we'll have 2 copies here. We'll also have another new game ender for us, Coma Cosmos Serpent. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys who have faced off against this card might actually hate it, but in our deck, it is perfect for our deck because this gives us also a go wide option for us in order for us to reanimate, and those Coma's coils make it very hard for our opponent to stop Coma overall with its abilities. And with that all out of the way, here are my final thoughts that I now want to give you on this deck. If you're a fan of cheating big creatures out onto the battlefield, if you're a fan of stealing your opponent's permanents, and if you're a fan of soft locking out your opponent from being able to win the game, then I would definitely say give this deck a try, and I assure you, once you manage to lock out your opponent with Absolute Virtue, steal some of their permanents or lands with Agent of Treachery, you're going to have a lot of fun doing so, and you'll be very surprised at how you can pull it off on today's budget. And whether or not your opponent rage quits due to these locks, I assure you, you will definitely not be disappointed. That's all I have for you today. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. Later!